Good afternoon, lovely people. Well, cat's out the bag now, isn't it? You know what the other bike is that I'm test riding. For those of you who didn't watch a video before, I put a video up, I don't know, week and a half, 2 weeks ago, where I test rode a new Harley Davidson Street Glide with the intention of actually not buying the Street Glide, but buying the Road Glide. And I said on that video there was another bike I need to test ride before I make a decision, and it's this one, the Triumph Rocket 3 Storm GT. Nice, short, catchy, snappy name, that, isn't it? I've loved the Triumph Rocket 3 for years. I mean, it's been out for quite a while, but obviously this is the latest version of the Rocket 3, and I just need to have a play on it. I need to know what it's like before I even contemplate spending the vast amounts of money on a new bike, and potentially, well, could be either Harley or Triumph. So I'm just on my way to my local Triumph dealership, which is very conveniently about 15 minutes from my front door, which is a lot closer than my local Harley dealership is. So yeah, we'll be there shortly. Here we are, Triumph Stoke. Right, pick the bike up. Just spent about 10 minutes on it. I just thought I'd pull over and tell you a bit about it. So far, the one word I've got is brutal. Brutal. But for those of you who know nothing about this bike, it is the Triumph Rocket 3 Storm GT, as I said in the car. It is basically a 2.5 litre 3-cylinder engine, but the cylinders run that way along the bike rather than going that way. Brembo brakes. I mean, people may have different opinions, of course, but I think that is one stunning bike. Absolutely. I saw one review on it, and the guy described it as happy looking. Happy looking. I'd say it looks angry enough to chew your head off and poo down your neck. Personally, that's my view. Figures on it, it's putting out 182 brake horsepower and 220 something pound-feet of torque. It's just ridiculous numbers, absolutely mental numbers. Look at the size of the back tyre. I don't know what size that is, but it's fatter than my car tyre. The single-sided swing arm and back wheel just look amazing. So the difference between the GT and the R, the GT's got slightly more kind of back-facing bars. It's got the sissy bar on it, and most importantly, it's got forward-mounted pegs, hence the GT. Look at the size of the radiator. But I suppose you need a radiator that big to cool that engine. So yeah, it's a bit of a beastie. But as you will know from my last video, when I'd got not an issue with the fairing on the Street Glide, just Harleys in general, well, the Street Glide and the Road Glide, look at the view from the rider's perspective on this. That all all that road is suddenly visible. Massive fat tank, but just, in my opinion anyway, just a much nicer view when you're riding this bike. Now there are two things that I would probably almost certainly change if I had this bike. One, that screen is pretty small. I'll report back on the wind protection when I've done a bit more miles on it, but it's pretty small. The sissy bar is pretty small, so yeah, but you can get loads of, I've already looked loads of aftermarket parts for them, so I've thought about this bike for a while, and to me it's got to answer three questions today. One, just how GT is this Grand Tourer? Can I get on this bike, ride to the top of Scotland, and then spend 4 days of 8 hours a day on this bike and it be comfortable and enjoyable? I did it on my Harley. Is this a GT bike? It says it is, but I want to know, is it likely to be comfortable doing that many miles? Two, if you've watched my other videos, which if you haven't, go and watch them, I can carry quite a lot of luggage with me. I've got panniers, obviously, I've got a bagger, so I've got a lot of storage on the Harley. I put a big thing on the back. Is this capable of carrying what I need it to carry? I mean, it's a GT bike, a Grand Tourer, so I should be able to fill it up. You can get panniers for this. From what I understand, they're not particularly big. So that's number two. Number three, and probably the most important one, all this power is very good, and it's nice when you want a silly half an hour, or you've got a few cars to get past. But does the power of this bike dictate its character, everything about it? What I'm trying to get at, I've had sports bikes, and sports bikes are designed to go quick, so they egg you on. You end up wanting to go out for a little gentle run and ripping the road to bits. I don't want that. I want something that is happy to sit at 50 on a nice B road and doesn't just want you to poke it all the time. So I'm really interested to see if this is just all about the power, or you can just poodle around on it and it's nice to do that. So it's going to be interesting. It's got to answer those questions for me to consider it. So let's, how the hell do you turn it on now? Let's try and get this bike going. There we go, we seem to have life. Now we should start. Are we in first? I'll prat about with the bike, start it, you know, normal really professional reviewer stuff. Right, we should be good to go now. Why isn't it starting? It's in neutral. Yeah, well, this is a bit embarrassing. I actually can't get the bike started. Right, ignition on. Ignition on. No, okay, right. That should be off, so. Oh, right, okay, that's ignition on. Wait for the little thingy to do its nice little dances, so it should kick in. What am I doing wrong? Ah. You do. Got a nice sound as well. Oh, it's got a limiter in neutral. Can't rev it all the way. That's interesting. Right, let's get going, shall we? The pegs are really quite far forward, or I would say even more forward than the Road King. It's almost like having your feet on highway pegs. They are very far forward, which is, I like that, it's comfortable, which is another reason why I'm riding the GT, not the R. And I saw one review where the guy really wasn't happy with the bike in town. Said it was too heavy and difficult to manoeuvre. I think I've been going around a car park as soon as I got it just to get a feel for it, and it was really comfortable in tight corners. Right. Impression of the bike, it handles so well just for being on it a short amount of time. It really gives you confidence. It feels like it is glued to the road. Everything is very light, which is something I'm not particularly used to. The clutch is very light, the gear change is very light. It changes direction for the weight of the bike. You know, it similar to the Harley, it hides its weight extremely well. I would say better than the Harley. The Harley still felt like a very heavy tool. This does not at all. It's amazing in that respect. You feel like you can absolutely throw it about, which is phenomenal for a bike of this size and weight. I've stuck behind Transit Vanman on double wide, so really impressive bike so far. Brakes are amazing, absolutely, really good. And I mentioned the torque figure. You can so tell there's that massive amounts of torque. It in fifth gear, it will just, you barely need to change gear. It can be so comfortable to ride because of that torque. Wow. Wow. God. This is going to make me think this bikers. A totally insane thing, and this is down to the torque again. You rev the bike and you're stationary. The whole bike moves. Like you can really feel the power under your ass. Traffic, seeing how we cope with this big brute. But I'm not expecting any difficulties at all. It feels considerably lighter than the road windows and a lot more manoeuvrable, as you'd expect from a very old Harley. But yeah, let's have a look. Absolutely no issues in town. Dead easy to weave around, throw the way around. Yeah, lovely. Well, there's such a light clutch and light gear change as well. Okay, time for a quick blast up the motorway. See what it's like, just like motorway cruising speeds. Essential to know. So yeah, let's go down to the M6. Okay, that was kind of predictable. At motorway speeds, you gain a lot of wind. It's a very small screen, so, you know, you kind of would expect that. It's livable with, certainly. But a bit more wind protection wouldn't go amiss. That's hilarious. As soon as you go near the throttle, the camera just goes flying backwards. to say she pulls. Right, let's get back on the dual carriageway. So, what do we think? What about the 3 questions? Is it a GT bike? That screen is a bit lame, but I know I can get, as I said, aftermarket screens, which will be bigger and should offer a bit more wind protection then. So, comfort-wise, yeah, you could sit on this all day long and it'll be as comfy as you like. So, yeah, I could do some miles on this thing, absolutely. Luggage, that's something I'm going to have to look into, because I don't think the panniers that fit on either side are particularly large. So it would probably involve seeing if I could get an aftermarket sissy bar that went higher to then put my luggage on. I believe they do a tank bag as well, but I don't know how big they are. So, yeah. We'll have to see about that one. And then the third point, is this bike happy at pootling, or is it just an absolute out and out beast? Well, yeah, it is an absolute out and out beast, but it's not a sports bike. It doesn't egg you on. Yeah, it's good fun having that power, but you can pootle on it. There's a lot of thinking. It's a tremendous bike. Is it better than a Harley? A Harley Street Glide or Road Glide? You know what? Might just be. It might just be. Well, I've got to get this back to the dealer now, because I haven't bought it. So yeah, there is a lot to think about here.